Hello and welcome back to the final Diablo 4 video on Simon Spritborn. I'm done from tomorrow. I'm going to start playing I actually don't know yet. It might be today, I might start today. But yeah, I'm going to start playing something other than a Spiritborn. My nice pirate gear will go away and we'll be on to something else. So for now, the build looks fairly underwhelming and underpowered, but we all know how powerful Spiritborn actually is. Literally, as soon as I get out here, the attack power just goes absolutely stupid, mainly because of Shroud of False Death. But we'll go back into the safety hub here and start by looking at the gear. So my gear is far from best in slot for this build. It is enough to basically finish all the content of the game. You could do Lilith. I haven't done Lilith with this character, with this build, because I can't be bothered to learn the what is it? Learn the mechanics. I never have really. I think my first and only Uber Lilith kill has just been purely overpowered, killing her before she can actually do anything. But we will start with the helm. Great helm of concussive strikes. I love this because 20% chance to daze them, her attack. So we have really high attack speed. Where is it? Attack speed bonus 74, just basic. And it gets higher than that with some of the skills and whatever goes on. For some reason I have that massive 91.7% crushing hand size. That's really nice because it's like doubling the size of your main attack. It's probably not best for pure damage. I think there is a better tempering skill for that, but with the masterworking, it just covers such a huge area. You can just fly through dungeons, fly through hell tides, just about anything, because any groups of enemies are all getting caught in one attack, more or less, and it's completely destroying them. And the aspect, 20% chance to daze, and the increased damage to daze is great. The runes on there, Pock and Nur. Voracious Trickery, spend 600% of your natural maximum resources to invoke the road's countering concealment for 5 seconds, granting dodge chance, movement speed, unstoppable, and most importantly, stealth. Because stealth, that's it. You can basically charge this constantly because you're doing so many attacks a second. Every attack is using 100% of your resources, and boom. 6 attacks. Every 6 attacks you go into stealth. When you go into stealth, that happens 736% damage on next attack after entering stealth. That's huge. It's the only Uber that this build needs, although it doesn't really need it. I've done everything with this build, with and without a Shroud of False Death. You can look at my previous build video, done 3 weeks ago, which was basically the same build but without Shroud of False Death in it. I think you use Harmony of Ebir, whatever it is, the helm, to basically mitigate not having the Shroud of False Death. 1+ to all passives. That's huge. That's a huge amount of extra ability points that you just don't have to spend. Maximum life is really important, and damage on next attack after entering stealth is, just ridiculous. And the resource generation, again, just helps. Well, I think it means that you don't have to have 50% on that ring. You can get away with like 40%, but it doesn't really matter. Once we get to the gloves, redirected force as the aspect. You're really looking at maximum life again. My gloves just happen to have greater aspect on critical strike damage, which is great, and you do need crushing hand levels, because the more crushing hand levels, the more damage you're doing. Mine's up at 21 now, which is insane. I don't think I've seen anyone have higher than 21. I think it is possible, but I can't remember how. And I can't even remember if getting to more than 21 is good, because I think you have to sacrifice something else. Barrier generation and overpower damage as the tempers. Overpower is obvious because we're overpowering every single hit. The only other thing that you might want to have... Actually, no, that's pretty much it. Overpower and critical strike damage, although overpower is the better one of the two to have, because it's the last multiplier in the line that I think gets calculated. Might be wrong there, but I'm pretty sure overpower is, like, by the time you take your attack stats, your multipliers, your increased damage from being in daze and vulnerable, stuff like that, critical strike damage, and then it's overpower damage that multiplies against everything. Masterwork to just the extra levels on crushing hand. Oh yeah, that's how you can get higher crushing hand with if you get 2 masterworks or 3 masterworks on crushing hand. But I think you're better off with it anywhere else. I could re-roll mine to not be in crushing hand because it's only 1 point, which isn't huge, but having it in overpower damage would be better. Would be more damage. Down to the pants, the interdiction aspect. Gain block chance per stack of resolve. We get huge amounts of resolve stacks. I think it's like 19 or 20. So that's a massive amount of block chance. It just helps so much. Barrier generation again, because our attacks are doing increased damage based on barrier. +5 to basic skills, or just basic skills, because crushing hand, although it's not normally a basic skill, because of the Rod of Kepelecki, which turns your core skills to basic skills, that just increases your level on crushing hand. Max life and dexterity. Max life is huge here. If you can get more life, the better. Down onto our boots, the hectic aspect on the boots. After casting 5 basic skills, one of your active cooldowns is reduced by so many seconds. Again, This aspect isn't maxed. You'll find most of my aspects aren't maxed out because it's just really awkward to do. I think you have to trade with people. But after casting 5 basic skills, Crushing Hand is so fast with 70 odd to 100% basic attack speed. It's ridiculous. You're doing 5 attacks so fast. Just all of your skills are getting cooled down loads quicker. Like, it probably takes 10 seconds, actually less than 10 seconds, from you using your ultimate for it to cool down, and that should be a near 40-second cooldown. So, it's great. We got maximum life, armor, and resistance to all elements. My armor's still not capped. It's way off. I would probably... You could have something different than armor, but I think I would recommend it just for the extra resistance that it gives you. And the resistance to all elements. We're not capped on our resistance. We're like barely over on cold and shadow. Poison, lightning, and fire aren't capped. So you can kind of tell this is a build that isn't built on defense. It's pure all out, doing as much damage as possible and as many attacks as possible to keep a barrier up to hopefully keep you alive. Which is, it's just ridiculous. It's like the only time I've ever had a build like this that just really counts on you doing as much damage as possible all of the time. Coming down to weapons, the Rod of Kepaleki is the only rod. It's the only thing you need. I think pretty much all of the best Spiritborn builds use this. You need a greater aspect on maximum resource. You absolutely have to. I would prefer, as mine's a 2GA, to have anything but velocity, because velocity is not great and I can't be bothered to keep re-rolling it masterwork wise to get rid of that extra level on velocity. But the aspect, your core skills are now additionally basic skills and free to cast, but deal up to 30% reduced damage based on their vigor cost. Let me scroll down. When cast at maximum vigor, your core skills consume all of your vigor to return to full damage. Cast at their largest size and become guaranteed critical strikes. So we're guaranteeing critical strikes here already, with 2.8 to up to 3% increased critical strike damage for each point of vigor spent. So we've got like 280 vigor here. I don't think we can... 281 vigor. So what? Let's just grab a calculator out quickly. 2.8 multiplied by 281. That's an extra 786.8% critical strike damage. And it's a guaranteed critical strike. How? That is just mental. So our critical strike damage, although it's not huge, that number is actually 1,700%. And then you've still got 1,458% on the overpower, which we do overpower every hit, thanks to the Banish Lord's Talisman. I somehow managed to get a 4GA one. Hasn't got the best percentage on the aspect, but I don't know how this dropped for me. I was almost pretty much speechless when it did drop. But life, attack speed, overpower, and core skills. Probably the most important one there is maximum life. I could probably redo the masterworking to get more life and more overpower damage rather than having the 2 on core skills, which would probably help increase everything. And like, just because it's 4G, that's why I'm using it. The roll on the overpower the aspect 36% is pretty bad. I think the one I got rid of was 50%, but it was only a single GA on maximum life. But yeah, you need that, because after you spend 275 of your primary resource, your next core skill is guaranteed to overpower. Now, we already know that this, when cast at maximum vigor, your core skills consume all of your vigor. So you're using all of your vigor here, which is 281, to guarantee your critical strike. And then over here, whenever you use over 275, you guarantee an overpower. So you're guaranteed critical strike and guaranteed overpower every single hit. Every single time. That's mad. Absolutely stupid. Probably some developer that was putting these items into the game just didn't think about it, that this and this could be triggered every hit if you did things right with your resource regeneration, which is where the next item comes in. The third item in the magical triangle that makes this build really stupid. Ring of Midnight Sun. So you can see we've got big amount of dexterity, some critical strike damage, cooldown reduction, which is kind of not really useful, mirage, which is not useful at all, probably helps a little bit but not massively. But the aspect, when you critical strike, you regain 50% of the vigor you've spent in the last 2 seconds. Yes, 50% of the vigor that you've spent the last 2 seconds. You're doing multiple attacks per second that are using 100% of your vigor. I think it only counts for like 1 attack in the last 2 seconds. So you also need to have some resource generation on other things. So the resource generation on Shroud of False Death and resource generation as a temper on your ring and your passive vigor generation here all have to add up to 100%. Now, it's not an easy calculation to do because you can't just add 16% here. There, what have we got there? 18% there, 50% there, plus 50% here. It's weird multiplicative generation. So there's a calculator somewhere that helps you work out whether you've got over 100. I think I'm on like 118% or something stupid because I made it 100% before I got the Shroud of False Death, which is why you can potentially drop this from the 50% to like a 40% one. So if you got a Ring of Midnight Sun like 3GA with only 40%, you can do it. You can still make that 100% vigor generation. But again, it's very important that you are regenerating all of your vigor every attack, because if you don't, you're then not casting at maximum vigor, which means you're not critical striking, and potentially you're not overpowering every hit. Masterworking on that doesn't really matter too much. The dexterity or critical strike damage are best. I should really re-roll that for critical strike damage. But I can't be bothered. To farm a Dewsite anymore. Final one. The Ring of Adaptability. When used below maximum resources, which doesn't really matter, because we're never below 50% resources, but when used at or above 50% maximum resources, basic skills deal 80 up to 100% increased damage. It's just more damage, isn't it? And as Crushing Hand is a core and basic skill now, we just bump up the damage on that. Attack speed's quite important on this. I could re-roll attack speed to try and get a higher roll, but I think it's unnecessary because our skills and things end up increasing our attack speed anyway, which, since I'm at 74, nearly 75%, I bet we get another 20+% once we're attacking. But I'm not 100% sure about that. But I bet we do get really close to the cap of 100. I think the cap's 100 this season. It's annoying that they keep changing the caps. But yeah, overpower damage on the tempers and resource generation are important. Yeah, that's just it really. So that's the gear requirements, which sounds really high, but I came across all of this gear apart from Shroud of False Death relatively early. Like, I've had this since I was Paragon level 150, I think. I've had this build sort of not working because you need about 200 Paragon point. You need 200 levels to do your Paragon board, but you can get it damn close, and then you're still doing ridiculous amounts of damage. But next we move over to the Spirit Hall, Jaguar and Gorilla. Every 15th time you deal direct damage to an enemy with a Jaguar skill, unleash an additional strike, dealing 15% of the damage you have dealt to them in the last half second. Holy crap. This is where, like, you see the stupidly high damage numbers, like in the billions of damage because of this. Obviously the faster your attack speed, the more times you hit them, and it just multiplies from there. Gorilla is there because you want more resolve, and we're pushing 20 stacks of resolve, so until we're hit 15 times we're basically constantly unstoppable, which is beautiful. It really is. I don't know how I'm going to deal with going to another build and not being unstoppable constantly, because just not getting crowd controlled is amazing. It's absolutely fantastic. Let's get to the skill tree. So this is going to be kind of hard to see because we've got so many, like, 8 ranks of velocity, but I haven't spent a single I just haven't spent a single point in it. Yeah. So we're using a single point on Thrash and Enhanced Thrash. We don't use this skill at all. We don't actually use any of these. It's just we have to do 2 to unlock this. We're going up to Rampant Crushing Hand. You could do knockdown, but it's not you're doing more damage because you've got tons of resolve stacks as well. Pretty much guaranteed that our resolve stacks are maxing that number out. But yeah, you put in all five skills points in Crushing Hand, and then you're doing 2 in Vigorous and 3 in Balanced Exertion. Core skills cost more vigor, which doesn't matter to us. If you could get more in Balanced Exertion somehow, that would probably be really worth it. Then we're coming down to our focus skills. Single point in Vortex for pulling enemies in. Measured Vortex, while you have an active barrier, your Vortex does 300% additional damage and knocks enemies down for 3 seconds. Well, we basically always have barrier because Crushing Hand generates a barrier. Up to 30% of your maximum life every hit. We're hitting so often. So we almost permanently have a barrier. That's why we don't have to worry about our resistances and our armor too much. It does help, because if you for some reason can't attack, you kind of get slaughtered. But not really. We've got a single point in Focal Point and 3 in Apex. Then we have 1 point in Ravager, down to Measured Ravager. And yeah, we get these because of the Shroud of False Death. So yeah, increased damage while unhindered. It's just mad. While unhindered or unstoppable. So we get an extra little bit. This is why the Shroud of False Death is so powerful, because you just get little extra bits that all add up to this huge potential damage number. We max out Armoured Hide because it grants you maximum resolve. So just the cooldown on this is really quick, only 20 seconds. But obviously we're cooling stuff down faster with whatever aspect we've got on the ring. I can't remember what it is. We can cast this so often. And it gives you 100% block. Plus we go to Reinforced Armoured Hide. Increased your block damage reduction. And maximum resolve, and it increases thorns. It's just huge. At 1 point in endurance, 3 points in perseverance. We get fueled again. We get 1 point of that from the Shroud of False Death. So while we've got ferocity, we're getting life on kill, which is keeping us alive. We're putting 1 in patient guard. Obviously getting these 2. Counter-attack. We're going to reinforce counter-attack because what do we get? The Ring of Is it the Ring of Midnight Sun? Yeah, gain counter-attack's passive effect. So we may as well have where's it gone? We may as well have a better critical strike damage, just because it's free at this point. It's costing us 2 ability skills, but it's effectively free damage increase. Scourge is brilliant for healing, basically. The lifesteal of it is brilliant. Adaptable Scourge is where we want to be, but it's just a single point. So 3 points in here, 3 points in here. This is helping you do huge damage. This is helping you stay alive. 1 point in anti-venom. Not really a huge reason for it. It's just nice to have. Keeps you alive a little bit longer. You could probably spend that elsewhere if you wanted to. I might actually just spend it. I was going to spend it there, but you can't because I haven't spent anything there. There's gain critical structure. Yeah, there's no point in spending that there. Oh, where do we put it? We don't do vulnerable. I actually don't know where I would put this. Yeah, can't put it there. Potency skills. We don't really use any potency skills, so that's kind of pointless. My god, I don't know where to put this. Like 1 point. I could always put it on there, but it needs to be some... Really, I want it to be something that gives us more damage. There. Basically, follow through. Basic skills, deal extra damage plus 8% for the third. So, yeah. Yeah, so we're actually putting a point in follow through now because you don't really need it in anti-venom. Increase your damage by a tiny bit. Right, where were we? Potency skills. Basically resilient to help keep you alive, because we do use a couple of gorilla skills here and there. Armored hide mainly. It just gives you that extra life. It's an extra bit of a barrier for you and a cushion. Don't really know why we're using... Oh yeah, Crushing Hand is a gorilla skill. So, I totally forgot. So yeah, all of those in there. We've got 3 in Brilliance. I don't actually know why we're doing that, because the only Eagle skill we have... Yeah. So we can remove that and probably throw them up on follow through. So we're going to be doing bigger damage there. Casting 4 skills. Got 1 point to spend again. Well, that's annoying that I don't have. I suppose you could put it into focal point. I'm completely ruining this video because I'm seeing stuff that I'm like, I actually don't need that. We do use Jaguar skills, so yeah, we definitely want to keep these. We're not removing them and whatever. So really here we're only spending on Resilient and Dominant and Potent and Furnace. So it's 3 points, 3 points, 3 points, 3 points. Sorry about messing you around with just changing the build up as I'm doing the build video. Ultimate skill. We're using the Hunter. We're getting a Exalted Hunter. And then we're spending 4 points in Resolution. Well, 3 points in Resolution. 3 points in Spiritual Attunement. Because we need the extra 40 Vigor. and 3 points in supremacy. Just, yeah. Increased damage. That's it. And we're having Prodigy's tempo. Because we are permanently casting basic attacks. It's huge. It's ridiculous. My skill assignments look like this. I like having my left click so that I can move around freely without any chance of it attacking. So right click is my crushing hand, and then I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Basically 2 to 5. I'll spam them as much as you can. Literally, we're spamming these constantly as soon as they cool down. The Hunter is really useful for movement. Yes, it's your ultimate skill. Yes, it's got a near 40-second cooldown. But as I've already said, we're attacking so often that our cooldowns just drop really quickly with that aspect on the ring. Oh yeah, and Ferocity, if you look at the bottom of the hunt bit, Ferocity increases your attack speed by 5% per stack. This effect stacks up to 4 seconds, up to 4 times in each, lasts for 4 seconds. So there you go, there's 20% attack speed. We're already at 75% more or less. So that's 95% attack speed. Yeah, every time you use this, you just max out your attack speed, basically. Not quite, but it's really close. So yeah, I just use this to move from groups of enemies to groups of enemies, unless you're in the pit and it's a group of elites, in which case spam everything. Because Scourge helps. Scourge helps knocking things. They take more damage. That pulls everything towards you. So, although with your huge area of effect of crushing hand, you just, yeah, you're just absolutely destroying everything. Yeah, and that's keeping you alive. Ravager is doing more damage. It's just stupid to. My head can't even work out what this and that is doing to other skills and other things and other aspects and stuff like that. But I just know this works. The basic skill tree was from Ace of Spades build for the Orange Hulk build on Mobalytics. Obviously with a few tweaks that I've made here and there. I think it actually changed from what I had originally, and I never bothered to change it because I'd already tweaked it here and there. Paragon board is exactly the same, from the same place basically. Ace of Spades, Orange Hulk crushing hand build. We got our basic board with Colossal as our glyph. I'll just go through this fairly quickly, just because it's not that bad. Then this one, we got the revealing board, and we have the spirit glyph in there. So there you go, you can see exactly where I've gone up. I'm obviously skipping a few things, we're not grabbing everything, but we're trying to be as efficient as we can with where we're spending things. Then we move over to the viscous shield thing. This is another one that I think this is where some of the sort of bugginess of Spritborn comes from. This calculates not just off of barrier. This calculates off of something else as well. So it's increasing your damage by a huge amount. Mainly because you can keep a barrier at like 100% a lot of the time when you're attacking. Which means you're doing an extra 300% damage. Which is stupid. And the glyph here is Outmatch. You can see again we're skipping that, so more yeah, could have 60%. I might actually come down to this eventually. Just try and get all of these extra critical strike damages, because that's pretty big. But for now I want to get up to this for extra life. From there, did we go up? Yes. So, from Viscous Shield, we go up. And this is one of, again, the really important boards. And really important glyphs for this build. It's the sapping board. And we are using the Menagerist glyph. Which grants at the moment for me, it's not maxed out. It's only at level 89, which is still quite high, but only at 89. An extra bonus to magic nodes, which you can see there. It's given me an extra 73% damage, 9.3% incarnate damage, and hang on, 29 maximum resource. So this is how we're getting above that 275 magic number on our vigor. So we're coming up here, grabbing these 3 nodes, and they should be, hang on, if we unequip that, they should only be 4. But they're actually now 14. So it's an extra 10. 10 on each. There's an extra 30 on its own. Which it doesn't quite calculate correctly. So it says there's only 29 maximum resources, but it is 30. I think. It might not be. Pretty sure it is calculating it as 30 though. Yeah. So that board is very, very important. That's the sapping board. I can't be bothered to do a build guide on like mobilytics or anything like that. I'm too lazy for this. But again, this board was taken from Ace of Spades build for the Orange Hulk Crushing Hand build. And then we're going over to the Infighter. I will probably play this build again towards the end of the season, just because I want to see what it does, because obviously your Paragon levels now are account wide, which is really nice. The glyph we're using, Headhunter, just because it's increasing everything again, increasing the bonus to normal nodes. For now, we've got up to here. I am working up to 8% more max life, so I'll probably get resistance, max life, probably get these 4 maybe. I might just go straight for max life and then try and head to this extra bit of critical strike damage. And I don't know what else I really don't know where I'm going to go after that. You could head down here if you need more fire resistance, which I mean I think that would max out my fire resistance, yeah, if I got that extra 20% there. But it's kind of unnecessary. But yeah, let's just quickly go over these boards again, so if you need to you can pause on them. So yeah, let's go down here. Your start board, with Colossal. Then we move up to the Revealing board with Spirit. Then we're on the Viscous Shield with Outmatch. Then up to Sapping with Nadirist. And then over here, finally, we're on Infighter and Headhunter. Is there anything else? Mercenaries. Doesn't really matter what you pick. Pick your favourites. I like Subo just because I like having everything. I watch the map quite a lot. So I love being able to... Let's just run down here quickly. I love being able to see everything on the map. And yeah, as you can see, let's just do this and try and watch attack speed. I don't know how well this is going to be visible. It's not.
What?
I need to attack loads of stuff and get this up really quickly. Let's just keep going and so attack speed, 94.4 attack speed. So we are more or less maxing that out. Right, let's just get back to somewhere safe. Yeah. So that's my Spiritborn Crushing Hand build. Obviously we haven't maxed out the Paragon levels yet. So there's still a lot more to gain from this. As I've said, my weapons aren't maxed out. So there's so much more potential, but I want to change. I want to see just how broken Spiritborn is by moving on to a normal character. I'm going to have to do a little bit of research into what that's going to be. This video is going to be late up today because I'm actually recording it. This should go up at 4 o'clock, but it's not going to, which is quite funny. But yeah, it's a very good build. It's a very easy build. You don't have to have this. But I think we've reached a point. I actually got my Shroud of False Death from a blacksmith catch. So I crafted one of those. I'm not going to do another one right now because I do have the materials. You just need 2 resplendent sparks, so yeah, I could actually craft a few of them because somehow this season this is my best ever haul of Uber Uniques. I think I've had 10 now. So obviously I used 2 to craft this, and I have another 2 sparks. Maybe 8. Actually can't remember. I think I got 2 sparks from completing the seasonal stuff. So yeah, it's not that difficult to get everything apart from this, which again, as I've said, isn't necessary. You can do this build without this. Oh yeah, I forgot to talk about the runes on this. Zhang and Kui. Cast an ultimate skill 2 times, gives me Earthen Bulwark for 3 seconds, granting you barrier. More barrier. It's great. It's just more damage. Yeah, whatever. More damage, more barrier, more damage. It's a vicious cycle. For the enemies anyway. But thanks for watching. If you want any more, if I've missed something about this build that you want to see, just ask in the comments. Yeah, something else. If you want to, trying to think of what to say. If you want to see more, of a different build, see if I'm actually any good at this game or whether it is just this broken build. My vote goes on, it's a broken build, I'm actually shit at Diablo 4. Like, subscribe, so you'll see whatever character I decide to create. Loads of people are selling these. So I've got 2 that I'm going to give away to people. I've had 2 people ask for them already. I just need to find them in game. I have no idea how I'm going to do that because I don't think about these things. But what the hell. Yeah, like, subscribe if you want to see more. And thank you so much for watching. If you've got this far into the video, obviously the build guide's over, you can go away. But I want to say a huge thank you to everyone that's watched, liked, subscribed over the last, I don't know how long it's been. Just got my YouTube analytics thing up. It's like the last 2.5 weeks. I just feel like my channel's exploded for some weird reason. I've had an extra 77 subscribers, which is more than I think I've had in like at 77 extra subscribers is 3,950% more than the previous 28 days, which is insane. Watch time is just showing 999 more than usual hours, and views 22.4 thousand views more than usual, but like 30,000 views. So it's just stupid. And all I have to say is thanks for everyone watching. It's sort of makes it a bit more valid that I'm actually doing something and people are enjoying watching it, because yeah, it just is. So thanks for that, everyone. I will see you all next time. See you all tomorrow in... It's going to be less than 24 hours now, because this video is going to take at least an hour to encode, then throw up to YouTube to do its checks. It's really not a simple thing. I think there's like no editing in this video. I just need to re-encode it to something a bit smaller, because I'm recording this with NVIDIA overlay shit, and it comes out at like, this will be like a 50 gigabyte video, which I can't upload to YouTube because it would take forever, so I have to re-encode it to something a bit smaller, so it'll be like 5 gigabytes and still look decent. Then it goes up to YouTube. Then YouTube takes about an hour to re-encode it to their system, to do all the fucking monetize checks. You don't realise, no YouTubers talk about this side of it really. Not that I've seen anyway. But yeah, the back end stuff that people don't see is a lot more work than you think. I don't know how some of the bigger YouTubers do it. I don't know how I do a video every day. I don't think I've missed a day for ages now. I think I've deleted a few older videos where they were just rubbish. But yeah, I think I've pretty much uploaded a video now since the start of Diablo 4, since release. And now I'm rambling and I need to get away. So, thanks for watching, like and subscribe, see you next time. Bye. For real this time. Bye.